Welcome to the lecture, Canada's Branches of Government. You will be learning about the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government that exist at the federal, provincial, and municipal levels of government. In the previous lecture regarding federalism, you learned about the concept of jurisdictions. As a review, write down 2 jurisdictions for each of the levels of government: federal, provincial, and municipal. As discussed previously, federalism is the division of power between the federal, provincial, and municipal levels of government. The federal government looks after things like national defense. The provincial level of government oversees areas like education. And municipal government manages things that affect your daily life, like garbage collection and the running water provided to your home. How are our federal and provincial governments organized? There are 3 branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. It is important to note that each of these branches of government exist at both the federal and provincial levels of government. Here is a visual breakdown of the relationship between the levels of government and the branches of government. At each level of government, federal, provincial, and municipal, exist the 3 branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. The role of the executive branch is to carry out the plans and policies of the government, to institute laws and make sure that they are followed. If we look at the federal level of government, we can see that the executive is made up of the Queen, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet, and the public service. During the COVID crisis, this executive branch had to come up with solutions to protect Canadians. The legislative branch of government has the power to make and change laws, to introduce laws, and to vote on them. At the federal level of government, the legislative branch is made up of the Queen, the Senate, and the House of Commons. New laws must be approved by the legislative branch of government. This is to prevent the executive branch of government from simply making its own laws. The judicial branch of government, or the court system, interprets laws and determines if a law has been broken and what penalties should result. The job of the judicial branch of government is also to make sure that new laws created by the legislative branch do not conflict with the Canadian Constitution or the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Where does the Prime Minister fit into all of this? There is a fusion of power between the executive and legislative branches of government. The Prime Minister and his or her caucus, members of his or her party, sit in the House of Commons and can introduce legislation. The Prime Minister is also a regular MP, Member of Parliament, who must be elected in his or her particular riding. The branches of government represent a system of checks and balances. Each of the branches of government are a check on the power of the other. This was designed so that one branch of government does not hold all the power. If all the power rested in one branch, that would lead to abuses of power. This system of government developed in Britain as a result of previous kings and queens abusing their power.